Hello, funny bunnies. Welcome back. This is episode number 47 of One by One. It is a momentous episode because not only do I have a cool, awesome fucking person on here this time, and not that I haven't had before, but this dude is exceptional. I also have my very first podcast sponsor. Holy shit, I feel like I've made it. And it was like, it's nuts because it wasn't like I went searching for it. I didn't have to ask people, hey, can I give you a code and you're getting like 15% off your No. This company is family. I actually met the now owner, through social media. Go fucking figure. Micah Hatcher. I love you, brother. He's now the owner of Hike Moab. They give you fucking the best guided hiking adventures you can fucking ask for in the country, let alone Utah. This place, it's absolutely beautiful. They filmed Westworld there. Or at least they took some pictures for it, I think. Michael was telling me about it. I totally forget now. But I'm pretty goddamn sure that the mountains that he looks at when he looks out his back door is where Tate Fletcher just fucking bashed his head in with that big ass fucking rock. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. He's gonna have a discount code 1x1 shortly, but until then, just go to moabhiking.com if you're in the Moab, Utah area. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Moab. I don't know why I put an H in there. Did I fucking put an H in there? I don't know. But this is incredible. It's pretty fucking cool to be reading your first ad, man. And it's for a friend. It's for a friend, a familia. So yes, look out for these little intros to be a little bit more weirder because I just want to play. I want to have fun with them, you know. Micah told me just go ahead and just go off if I want to, like fucking Duncan Trussell, but I need to be on Duncan's level, and that ain't happening tonight. Anyways, please go to moabhiking.com. That's moabhiking.com. moabhiking.com. Now onto the podcast. I contacted this dude after I saw what he was doing on Instagram and Twitter and shit, and he's an incredible person. We just had an hour and 15-minute conversation, and it felt like we fucking knew each other when we got on the phone. It's kind of weird, but weird is both good and bad, which life is. So take that as you may. He used to be a police officer, and now he makes photoshops with the utmost of precision. Seriously, he's fucking great, and he does it on his phone just like I do. He he doesn't like being called. He's not a comedian, even though he actually got up on stage, opened up for Donnell Rawlings at fucking Caroline's, and I don't know if I did that. If I ever opened for Joey Diaz or something, like, I'd say, yeah, I'm a comedian. I have aspirations. But I couldn't even imagine. I could not even imagine. But It would be fun, I'm sure. He's got this thing about him. He's got an incredible family and an incredible beard. Like even like more stupendous than fucking Bob Bowling's beard. If you could believe that. Actually, I think it might even be more stupendous than Bob's brother's beard. Cause Bob's brother's beard's like twice as big as Bob's. Now imagine Bob's, and then a beard that's like twice as big. Now imagine twice as big as that, but fluffy and nice. You just want to like lay in it. This is what happens when you sit here and talk to yourself for an intro after you just talked to a fucking cool ass motherfucker for an hour. I can't wait to do it again. I want to meet this guy in person and fucking hang out, man. And collaborate and just the things that we get to do with our phones and the laughter that we hopefully are helping to make. There's nothing like it, man. I mean, I'm a musician. I've played music in front of decent crowds, not huge, not like fucking thousands, but that is such a gratifying feeling. And it's pretty much the same fucking thing when you make something and that picture or whatever makes somebody else laugh. And that's what it's all about. Laughter, love. You just gotta laugh through everything. But this is a good one. I really enjoyed this, and hopefully you guys can get through the little beeps if there are any. I can't really tell right now because it hasn't happened in a minute. But without further ado, I'm just gonna start saying it. This is fucking Joe. I gotta stop saying without further ado. How do you even say ado? 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 A female deer? I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. I'm delirious. Delirious! Alright. Episode 47 of One by One. Please welcome my new friend, and hopefully my future friend, and family member, because that's what this fucking world is all about. We gotta be family. Fuck this fucking hate and fucking bullshit and all this fucking butt. It's just fucking shit. Whatever. Please welcome Andy Singer, a.k.a. Bearded Humor. See if this will work now.
Yes, that's always an interesting question.
Dude, this is what happens when you learn how to do this shit by watching YouTube tutorials. You know what I'm saying?
That's the way of the world, though. Every time my 11-year-old daughter, every time I talk to her about something, I'm like, oh, she's like, oh yeah, I've seen a YouTube video on that. I know how to do that. It's like everything is YouTube videos. Like, really?
Exactly, dude. I learned this. I learned how to do the graphic design shit on YouTube. I learned how to do drugs on YouTube. You know.
Yeah. Everything is on YouTube.
Fuck yeah, dude. How did you get into graphic design and stuff?
Well, see, that's the funny thing. I'm not a graphic designer. My wife is a professional graphic designer, and she hates what I do because I do it on the phone on an app in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I do, dude.
She absolutely hates it, but she understands it. I mean, it's technology. It's what it is. I mean, I can do everything. I mean, of course, if hers is done for work and it's, magazines and posters and blow up stuff. If you did any of that with mine, of course, it wouldn't be as technical as detailed. It's quick. It's for a 2-inch by 2-inch thing on Instagram, basically.
Exactly.
You don't have to be that perfect. It's easy.
Yeah, it's sometimes like people that are real like graphic designers, because I'm not. I don't consider myself one. I'm trying to like learn and teach myself other shit besides the Photoshop stuff. But
Yeah.
real graphic designers are like, what the hell? That's not a That's not graphic design.
Oh, I'll tell you,
Well,
my
it
wife.
is when you put words on top of it.
It's, I mean, for the professional world, what I do wouldn't suffice, but for what I do, it's good enough. Makes people laugh, and that's really all that matters. So it's
Exactly, dude. That's all. Like, that's the only reason I got into it, is because I love laughing, and I just been a fan of comedy forever.
oh yeah,
You
I
know,
was
like
raised. Yeah.
shit. I can remember my mom. My mom would fucking let me watch, not even just listen. She would let me watch a whole like 9 hour long one of those extended VHS tapes that she like made herself of George Carlin HBO
Oh,
specials when I
that
was like 8.
yeah. I mean, when I was a little kid, my earliest memories were on Saturday nights. My father would wait. I knew the routine. I would go to bed. Me and my sister shared a room. I would wait till a little after 11 o'clock or so. I would constantly watch the clock. My mother would go to bed. He would sneak me out of the room so I could watch Saturday Night Live with him on Saturday nights. And it was like if we heard my mother get up, like I would have to go hide somewhere. But like I was probably like 5, 6 years old. I was like sneaking. I was like, and that's where I fell in love with comedy, and that's where I fell in love with. I'll still never forget one of the most inspiring things to me was the Stevie Wonder Nikon or whatever. It was a camera commercial that he did. So even Stevie Wonder could use it. And I remember seeing that, and I remember being taken back, like, oh my God, is that what comedy is? Comedy you can laugh at yourself, you can
Yeah,
laugh at things, and from that moment on, I was just like, oh my God, I want to learn to laugh at everything.
yeah. It's a good thing to be able to laugh at yourself too, dude.
Yes,
Because if you can't laugh at yourself, then you got a fucked up way of thinking.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Laugh at life, death, and everything in between.
Yep. That's it's the only thing that gets you through a lot of the
Yes,
time, dude. So I mean, you got to use it to your advantage. Some people fall into. I mean, I'm one of those people, but you fall into the whole following the negative shit that's going on and everything. But that
absolutely.
the
I mean, we all
laughter
get
just brings it back.
yes, yeah, yeah. And I mean, I've been fortunate enough to through laughter to tie into, like, I work with Donnell Rawlings a lot,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and it all tied in from basically I just reached out to him, and it all comes from a very important story that I was fortunate enough to tell Charlie Murphy before he passed. I've been able to tell Dave Chappelle to his face, and it's the reason why me and Donnell are pretty much like best friends.
yeah.
It When my son got sick with meningitis, and after 2 weeks of living in a PICU, we went to a rehab hospital, and my son was still in a coma. We had no idea what the future was going to bring. We didn't know if he was going to live or die, and we were living there on an army cot next to our son, not knowing anything. And after 3 days, my wife finally went home. I wouldn't leave his side, and she came back later on that day with all the mail that we had and the bills and everything. And we had pre-ordered the first season of Chappelle's Show DVD because we love the show so much.
Yeah.
And she brought it, and we both kind of looked at each other like, we can't watch that now. And then we looked at each other and we said, we have to watch that now. And it was from that moment on that we knew no matter what was going to face us, we were going to laugh at it. We were going to laugh through it. We were going to find humor. And it's to this day, I mean, a lot of doctors and nurses, because we live in and out of hospitals with my son constantly, and a lot of them look at us like they're crazy. And a lot of them look at us and they absolutely love the fact that during the toughest times when people just break down and can't take it and families fall apart, we
Mm,
laugh. We just laugh.
yeah. I mean, that's an incredible fucking thing, dude. I
Yeah.
commend you tremendously. Like, I see. I'm busy as shit, but I see what the fuck's going on, and you and your wife are incredible parents, dude. I
It
just became a parent last year, and it's like, oh my god, it,
that
the
it's your heart.
fear, the
It's life.
fucking fear,
Yeah.
is out of control.
Yeah.
So I mean, I commend you. You guys are great, and you're giving him the fucking best life, right now, and it's it's awesome that you have that laughter and the people that you're connected to too that can help you share what you make. Like
Yeah.
that's what it's
Yeah.
all about, man.
I mean, we hear that a lot, but and I'm able to say this to people like yourself who are parents. It's when something like that comes into your life, what are you going to do? It's your child. That's your life. You're going to do everything you possibly can. I mean,
Hmm.
our life completely are upside down. Nothing that we'd ever planned on, the way we live right now is crazy. But again, it's because of the laughter. One of the most important things is, when my son was stricken with the bacterial meningitis, he was left to deaf mute. He suffered severe brain trauma. He has seizures every day, all day. They're uncontrolled. And his days vary. Some days he has good days, some days he has bad days. But the one thing that even my son, before he got sick, he was a little humorist. He was a funny one, always cracking, very sarcastic. My daughter is now doing that too, which I'm so proud of. She is the most sarcastic, comical person at 11 years old. I couldn't be prouder of that.
That's awesome.
But my son too. My son was funny before he got sick, and that's the one thing that he continued through it. Early on, when we learned that he was left to deaf mute, we started watching a lot of Mr. Bean, because Mr. Bean, you don't need to hear what's going on. You can see the physical comedy.
Yes.
And a lot of that in our house is physical comedy. And my son has a very limited vocabulary with sign language, and he really can't sign that well because of his dexterity.
Yeah.
So it's really not the greatest communication, but most of our communication is usually through laughter, doing some Mr. Bean style stuff, doing some Abbott and Costello falling down. We do a ton of that in the house. And my son even sees when my wife and I get stressed out and we're going through a tough time, he'll do something silly. He'll drop something. He'll make a silly face. He's the one that realizes also how important laughter is in our lives. So that's an amazing thing in itself. So, yeah, like I said, I appreciate the fact my wife and I hear it all the time. But we learn a lot from my son, and even with my daughter too. She's had to grow up in a tough household, and she saw right away that laughter really can help you deal with anything. So once again, it's all full circle. We all kind of remind each other. We're always, making each other laugh. We always see when the other one's down, and it's comedy that keeps us going through it.
Yeah. It's incredible, man.
Yeah.
What were you doing before this? I read something about like a sheriff's deputy or something.
Yes, yeah. I'm a retired police detective. I did 20 years, and I've pretty much gotten about as far away from that life as possible, because it was nothing but stress. It was absolutely nothing but stress.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to be away from that. I enjoyed what I did. I hopefully helped a lot of people. I always tried to do the best that I could in my job, and I gave it my all. And my 20 years came up, and I got out, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And it kind of it's even funny to this day that, like I said, I don't consider myself a comedian, or I don't consider myself working in the world of comedy. I work with people. I consider myself a humorist, and to be a part of making strangers and people all over the world laugh through other people, to me, it's the greatest feeling in the world. And I don't even care about if I get paid for this or not ever, because it's priceless just to know that I've made somebody's day just by something stupid in my mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Something on your friggin' phone. What app do you use, if you don't mind me asking? Because I have a couple of them, and every time somebody asks me, I'm like, I don't know if I want to tell you.
I've been using, it's an old one, and I've tried so many new ones, and I always go back to Juxtaposer.
Really? That's
Yes.
that's like the first one I started
It,
on, like
ex-
fucking
I,
back in the day.
I love it. Yes, exactly. And I've tried so many new ones, and some of them get a little bit too much. And I just like the simplicity of it. And they do update it every couple of months, and they give you just enough to keep it going. And I'm a whiz at it. I mean, I can literally do something with 5 or 6 major edits in it in under a minute. I mean, it's all just my thumb just goes.
Yeah, dude.
It
Once you
works
get
for me.
used to that
Exactly.
specific app or whatever, like you're good, man. I
Yeah,
started out. They had a Photoshop Touch a couple years
yeah.
ago,
That was
and
difficult.
what's that?
I knew Photoshop well on the computer, and I actually found that difficult on the phone.
Really? Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't. I never knew Photoshop on the computer before. Like, I didn't even try it before I had the phone. So when I went on there, I was like, and I figured out how to do like the couple of things, the masking and the all
yeah,
that crap. But after I think it was a year ago now, or maybe more, Adobe did that thing where they had the uh, master. I don't even know. You have
yeah,
to pay
yeah,
like so much a month
yeah,
for each of the fucking thing. I'm like, what?
yeah,
Fuck you.
yeah.
Do you want me to download? I had one app that had every single fucking feature in it, and now you want me to download each individual effect and then pay for it? Fuck
Yes,
you. I
yes,
paid $5 for this thing, so I was like, but now I use this one that's called Enlight Photofox.
yes, yes.
It's like,
A friend of mine too. He works with Donnell a lot. Marshall Brandon, a very funny comedian. He does a lot of stuff with that too, and he showed me a lot with that. I know
Yeah.
it's bad. I haven't, like I said, I'm afraid to get away from what I know.
Well, once you, I mean, I was so afraid, dude. I went as far as I had a my last iPhone. It the app, the Photoshop Touch app, they stopped updating it after a certain point. So after a while, if you updated your phone to the newest like phone update, it wouldn't work with the app. So I was like,
Yes.
fuck,
Yeah.
man. So I
Yeah.
stopped updating my phone for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I need to update my phone, but I can't because I don't want to lose Photoshop and I won't be able to fucking make all this shit that I'm doing. And then finally, I was like, I'm gonna make the leap. And I tried Photo Fox, and then they have like another feat. It's like $3.99 a month, and it gives you all these extra things. So I just said, fuck it, I'm paying for that.
Yeah.
So I got that, and Unlight actually has another one. It's a video app. If you ever get into doing like stupid little videos too, it's fun. It's
Yeah. I want to try that next.
yeah,
That
Video
looked like a
Leap
lot.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's also like $4.99 a month. But it's fucking worth it, man. You can do
Yeah.
so much shit. Like, I don't know if you see them church clip videos that I
Yes.
made. I made all
Yeah.
that on there on the phone.
Yeah. It's and once again, it's amazing what you can just do on a phone. I have that conversation with my 11-year-old daughter again all the time. You have no idea the power at your fingertips.
I know.
At 11, I had nothing. It was just like
Yeah,
I
I
had
had
a
a
beat.
piece of
Right, that was
paper.
it.
Shit, I had a piece of paper and a pencil. I didn't even have pens back then.
Exactly. Exactly. Amazing the power that the kids have at their fingertips these days. Dude.
Yeah, man. And with this laptop I just bought, I don't know if you yeah, I guess you haven't. You do everything on your phone. You don't have any programs for or any like computer programs or anything.
No, like I said, when every now and then we do have to do something of professional quality for something big or for
So you just go to
somebody.
your wife for that.
I, I go to my wife and I say, okay, listen, I just texted you the 5 pictures. I need this. I made sure to find the high res, because I know when it comes to her, I can't just send her what I've been working with.
Oh, I
I
know,
want a high res picture of the person. It changes everything, and
dude.
she knocks it out. So
It's so crazy. It's like I noticed that you do a lot of the Photoshop stuff, and but you do a lot like promoting shows for like comics and stuff. I seen like a couple things I think, but like mostly it's just
yeah,
silly stuff.
it it's mostly the silly stuff, but I'm always doing stuff for like Donnell shows. He's very good at self promoting, but like I do a lot of stuff for a lot of people. Like sometimes people will ask me, like Kate Quigley will ask me for stuff once in a while. Sam Brillhart, I've done some stuff for. It's just whoever I send stuff to, like Dane Cook. I send stuff out, but that's when I see something and my brain clicks and says, "Hey, let's do this," I do it.
Yeah.
And if it's for somebody, like if I'm scrolling through Instagram and if I saw something on your page and I'd be like, "Hey, click," and then I would just do something real quick and just send it to you. And I don't care if you use it or don't use it. It's just it's
Just
almost like a
fun.
therapy for me too. Exactly. It's a way of getting my mind off of everything else that's going on in my world, and I'm focused on this for a couple of minutes, and boom, I did it, and that's it. And I don't even check to see if they saw it. Sometimes it's just I did it. I send it if I get a laugh out of it or whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And if they do laugh or reply or share it, it's an even more of
Yeah.
a thrill or whatever.
It's exactly it's a bonus, and that's what I love the most. My greatest thing is, like, especially like with Donnell, every time he posts something up, I usually wait an hour or two, or even to the next day to even look at it when he posts it, because then I want to read all the comments.
Yeah.
Because the comments I take personally, because that's something that me and him did, and I was a part of that, and it was a lot of it. A lot of it is back and forth between him and I. Sometimes it's just something that I thought of. Sometimes it's something that he just thought of. But it's something that
It's
I
a
was a part of.
collaboration, man.
Exactly. And to read the comments, I love the "I hate yous," "I'm dead," "Oh my God," I
Yeah.
yelled out in a business meeting. I eat those up. I love those. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
that's
dude.
every.
Dude,
It's
I know it's addictive, dude, and
it
you
is.
try not to fucking go on there and like comment back on some of them, like
Yes.
because they're not all great.
That's the one thing that I learned though. Don't get wrapped up in that. I used to get like oh, this isn't funny, or oh, it's the same thing, or also and you kind of take it personal. And then I realized, you know what, I'm beginning to see the shift now, like with like Leslie Jones the other day coming out with that whole thing about how comedy, if you don't get comedy, don't listen to it, don't be a part of it. Comedy has to remain comedy. Comedians need to stop apologizing for comedy.
Yeah.
If it's something funny, then damn it, just that's it. Nobody should have to apologize for comedy anymore. It's becoming a big problem. Let's laugh at everything. And if these people that are following, that's always the funny thing. Why are you following a comedian and making a negative comment on something of theirs? Get off the page.
Exactly. I see it so much just running Joey's page, and
Yes. Yes.
it's hilarious. And people have DM'd me. There was one guy that he made a page. I haven't talked about this to anyone, but I don't fucking care. He's gone. I don't know. There might be still a page, but he made a page called The Morning Joint.
Hmm.
You know that's what Joey does. And
Yeah.
and this is long after I had my page. I started Joey's. Like
Yeah.
we've been going full steam. And he starts it. He starts posting the videos of the morning joint and shit, and he doesn't tag anybody. He's replying to people that comment on the posts like he's
Yeah.
Joey.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Who is
Yeah.
this motherfucker?
Yeah.
So I messaged him. I was like, do you know Joey, man? Like, you're sitting here commenting like you are him. So you better know him or something. He got so pissed. He's like, oh, man, I forget what the hell the conversation was. It got deleted, but he said something about, oh, I'm doing your job better than you are. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about, dude? I don't do the periscopes.
There's always somebody angry out there.
He made a page. He made a Facebook or an Instagram page called One by One Podcast Sucks.
Yeah, see, but you know what you have to learn from that? Learn from that you've made it. That somebody actually is doing that. If you were nobody, nobody would do that. So you've made it. So you should be
Yeah, I
honored by
guess.
it. It's I've seen so much of my work out there, and I've seen other people's signatures over it,
Oh,
and I used to get
Jesus, I
pissed off
fucking
about
hate that shit.
and now it's like I had I had wasn't too long ago actually. I had did something. It was when the Rock's daughter was born. I put Kevin Hart's picture on it. I tweeted it. Kevin Hart immediately it was within like seconds. I was like, what the hell just happened? Because my Twitter went insane. Kevin Hart immediately retweeted it. The next day, The Rock posted up almost an identical picture, but it was somebody else had made the picture, my exact picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then that went viral, and then that went onto the Ellen show, and it went like super viral, and
Oh my
it was
God.
it was eating me up. I was like, wait a second, that was mine, that was mine. And like Donnell was even reaching out to me, going, calm down. It's like a joke. It's like you can put a joke out there. Yes, somebody kind of tweaks it, and they kind of say that it's theirs. Don't let it beat you up. You just keep doing what you do, and move on from it.
That's
And
hard,
like,
though, to, like,
it is. It
ugh.
is. But you know what I did at that point? Because there aren't many of us. And I didn't know what to do. And I felt so bad. I actually reached out to the Photoshop Steve.
Yeah.
I actually sent him a message and I said, look, I says, I don't know if you know me. I don't know if you've seen my work, but I kind of, we're kind of along the same lines, what we do. I don't want to overstep my boundaries or anything. He's got, I don't know how many hundreds of thousand followers.
Yeah.
And I told him what happened. And he took the time we went back and forth for a while, and he was very nice, and he explained situations that he had like that. And he basically said, you got to let it go. Once again, you got to let it go. Just move forward. Know that you're know that your joke created a very similar joke that went worldwide.
Yeah.
Know that know deep down inside that was you. You don't need the world to know.
Yeah, I hear you. And Photoshop Steve, he's a fucking awesome dude. I talked
Awesome.
to him on here like a year or two ago now. Jesus. But
Yeah.
it's I understand what they're saying, what Donnell's saying. You got to let it go. But it's a tiny bit different with a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
once-
he did the exact same thing. It would be like somebody saying your exact same joke.
Yes.
They would be called out for that.
Exactly.
You know
In
what I mean?
comedy world, absolutely, yes.
So it kind of still pisses me the fuck off a lot. And
you
like,
got it. You can't. Don't hang on to the negative though.
I
That's the
know,
thing.
I know.
Believe me. Trust me. I know there are times I want to scream, and it's just like, breathe, breathe,
Yeah,
breathe.
dude, it's especially when they take your logo or whatever and they like crop it so it's like halfway
Oh,
there.
oh yeah. It was when the prince and the princess got married. We actually did one. Me and Donnell did one, and it was the queen had that really mad look at the wedding.
Yeah.
So then I put the three haters. I put him, Dave, and Charlie as the haters behind her. And it was the next morning I get up and it was everywhere, but they had cropped mine and his names off of it. It was just
Ugh.
they cropped it. And he reached out to me and he was just like, "Let it go, let it go." It's just
It sucks, man, because there's like I have another app. It's called Retouch or something like that, and you can just
yes,
go into it and just touch where you want it to do it. Say take it out, and it'll fucking
yeah,
remove it. Basically, it does a really good job, especially if it's like a flat
yeah,
spot or whatever.
yeah.
So people, I'm sure, do that shit too. It's not cool, man. I
It's
don't
not.
even. It pisses me off sometimes, and I don't know. I just need to smoke a little more weed, I guess. I don't know. But
That
like when people
you
don't even
invest.
tag you and shit that you did,
Yeah.
and you
Yes.
did it for free. Come
Yes.
on, douche.
I've yeah. I've had a couple of people ask me for stuff, and then I would do stuff with them, and then like the next day, like I would go on their page, and I go to their page, and they have me blocked. So I have two accounts. I also have another account, like more like a family account, and I go on that account, and I go to their page, and my stuff is up with their signature on it, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?
Holy
You put
shit.
your you put your signature on it, you put it up, and then you blocked me? Like it's
That's gonna bite somebody in the ass.
yeah. Well, I mean, after that, I started like hiding signatures, like in pictures, where it's just enough where I knew, or if I needed. And I called a couple of people out after that too, where it was actually good that I did that. Where people that I don't know that I would do stuff for, and be like, okay, hey, listen, zoom in on your right arm, and you can see my signature right there. You still want to say it's your picture? Oh, well, that makes
That's what I
things quick. So
noticed you
like,
started doing. You put your name, like the bearded humor, around like weird spots and shit. That's a
so,
good fucking
sometimes,
idea, dude.
yes, sometimes yeah, I hate to do that because it takes away from the picture. But I see guys that do that all the time, and like I said, I don't like that, but sometimes you have to
I
do
didn't
it.
know what to do either, man. Cause I at first I had that logo. It's like yellow with all the instruments and stuff on it. I was putting
Yeah,
that bright as hell on everything I did. Well, at first I wasn't doing anything, but then I started doing that, and I was like, this don't look cool with like a black and white picture and this bright yellow circle down here.
yeah,
So I eventually just made a stupid. I downloaded a little vector logo app and made a little white one by one thing, like a phone and like some sound wave. I don't even know what the fuck it is, but I put it on the picture now.
but you still got to have your signature. You have to.
Yeah, man, just in case. But
Yeah,
it's different though when you're actually like doing it and you're working for people and they,
yeah,
you know, they're
yeah,
paying you to fucking produce the thing. So I guess
yeah.
it doesn't necessarily need my logo on it, but it's
Yeah, I
going
usually,
there.
yeah. Usually if somebody pays me for something, I usually don't put a logo on it unless it's for something like, like Instagram where it's going to be silly. Then a lot of people, I'll make up a logo for them. And I'll be like, hey, is this okay that I put your name at the bottom and then my name under.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's usually, people usually enjoy that. That's usually what I kind of do, since that's what I did with Donnell. I always had his name and then my name, on there. So I usually do that unless it's for, like a promotional thing or an advertisement. Then I may squeeze it in there somewhere really small on the bottom, but that's
Yeah, I haven't gotten into too much like real graphic design. Like the stuff that gets printed out and hung on a wall or something.
Yeah, when I do get those jobs, that's when it's, hey, honey, we need to sit.
Can you help me out here?
Yeah, exactly, because that's when you do need the
Actually,
profession.
I helped Lee Syatt with he wanted a flyer for giving out to bars because he wanted to like start doing open mics more around
Mhm.
LA and shit. So I'm waiting to hear back from him. I was like, let me know when you print it out how it looks. Because I know sometimes I try to do it once. I printed out just like just one of the stupid photoshops, and it just was like all blurred and cropped wrong. And I was like, damn, what the hell, Target?
Yeah, no, it's like I said, with doing stuff that we do that's basically 2 inches by 2 inches. it is kind of tough. Like a lot of times, like I do a lot of T-shirts. Like if I go see somebody, like if I go see Michael Blackson, I'll make up like something that like Donnell and I did about Michael Blackson, like when Black Panther came out, we did like a Pink Panther with Michael Blackson head on it. And he knows who I am too through Donnell. And I went to one of his shows, and cracking up. And it's the quality is like just okay on a T-shirt. If I went any bigger, it wouldn't be that good.
Exactly.
It's like
Well,
I go ahead.
I was gonna say with and light, you can actually like choose the pixel size and stuff. Can you do that with?
Awesome, yes. Yeah, I can't do that, but I have done that. Like I said, that's another thing too. Sometimes where I'll go. A friend of mine actually owns a T-shirt shop that we print all the stuff in.
Oh,
So
cool.
like I'll go and he'll do something real quick, and he'll be like, "No, honey, I need you to So
Yeah.
she's got to retouch it, send it to him, and then he can print it up, and then it comes out okay."
That's awesome, man. That's what I really want to get into next is like the vector designs and T-shirt stuff. Like I said, I got the laptop finally back, but I bought one of those Wacom tablet, or like the fuck are they called? I forget what they call. It comes with the pen, and you can like
Yeah.
draw on Photoshop stuff and shit like that. I bought Affinity because I have a MacBook, so if I was to go to Photoshop, I'd be broke. So Affinity is like $50 flat, bam, and it's got all the shit that Photoshop does.
Yeah.
I just have to sit and watch all those YouTube videos on how the fuck to work it. In between, still, making all the shit on the phone. Day job, baby, life.
Yeah.
Blah.
Yeah. and, that gets difficult once you have to start doing things, because we do a lot of T-shirts and stuff like that. Once you actually have to start doing those, it's a lot more. Just like you said, the vector art in itself, the layers and everything has to be. It's not like where you can just like on the phone put something on top of something.
Yeah.
Now you be aware of what's behind it, and if it's not pressed in right, that can come out when you go to print it. It's like it's work.
It's actual work. I'm like,
It's actual work.
Jesus. I don't know. Maybe it's destiny. My dad was a printer. I could eventually be a printer of T-shirts.
It's fun. One of my best friends, Rob, he's also a retired cop, and that's what he does now. He runs his own. He does sports stuff, baseball teams, football teams, does uniforms, basically whatever anybody wants, and he does it at his own pace. And like sometimes if somebody comes in, he'll be like, "Too big of a job, don't want it right now." And that's because that's what you got to do. You got to get to that point in your life where you got to enjoy yourself. It's.
Yeah.
About.
Especially when you've been going and working hard as shit for a long time,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm almost 37 next month, so still got a ways to go. A lot of fucking work to do,
You learn though. I'll be 49 next week. So
yeah. Happy birthday, brother.
I'm almost at that half century mark. I know death is looking for me. So.
He's creeping in with all them gray hairs and the beard.
I see him every now and then. I know he's watching me. So that's another reason why too. You just gotta let the stress go, let the BS go. Don't hang on to it, and just laugh as much as you can. Really.
Really, it's true, man. You don't know what's gonna happen after this.
Yeah.
Might as well live it up while you're here, like fucking Jim Morrison said. I'm gonna
Exactly.
get my kiss before the whole shit house goes up in flames.
And it's like I'm sure too. I'm sure you've come so far with this, especially with like the the Joey Coco stuff. What the page has 500,000 followers? I think you just hit recently.
Dude, just hit that this week, man.
When you started that, did you ever think that it was going to grow to something of that size?
Hell no, dude. I thought that I was gonna get told to shut it down.
Exactly.
When I made that, it was like right after the Savage Dad album came out. I made that album cover on my phone and uploaded it to Twitter. And Joe was like, "Yeah, I want to use that." So I was like, "Fucking
wow.
A."
Yeah.
So then he asked me to be his graphic designer for the church. After I kept making posters for him for his shows and sharing them on Twitter and shit. I just kept being persistent. I don't know. I was just being an asshole. I don't know what the fuck. But he said, you're the official graphic designer. So I was like, fucking A. And then I started that page like right after that. And I didn't know what he was gonna say because I don't do pictures. don't know what the hell. Um, let me take one little break right here because I
Sure,
see a flat line. I just want to make sure things are cool. So
sure,
just stay on the line, but I just want to
absolutely.
pause this real quick.
Cool.
Oh no, we're good. It was a on the page. The line was just straight, but when I hit stop on the record button, it was like all the wave lines are there. So we should be
Okay,
good.
cool, cool.
I gotta
Listen,
get used to
now we'll
this
do it
computer.
again. That's I don't care. It's, it's
Oh
just,
hell yeah, dude! I'm trust me. I want to get into doing this more and more. This is only my 47th episode since I started fucking 2.5, 3 years ago. Like right before I did that Savage Dad thing is when I started doing this.
well,
And
I'm absolutely I'm honored because this is my first podcast ever. So this is
oh really? Awesome.
absolutely. I mean, this is
Cool,
the
man.
coolest. I had no idea what to expect, and it's just two guys talking about making people laugh.
Fuck yeah, dude. And this is what I would do too if we were in person, you know. But this is
Yeah.
what I gotta fucking deal with. Living in fucking southern New Jersey. What the hell goes on over here, man?
Trust me, Northern New Jersey is no better.
At least I
No
mean,
better.
you're closer to New York. I'm closer to Philly, but there ain't not. I mean, the scene in Philly is like, you know,
Yeah.
it's harsh.
But, I mean, it's like, I mean, I grew up going into New York all my life too as a kid, and I'm to that point now too where, yeah, when I turned 21, of course, I'm there every weekend. But now it's like it's expensive as hell just to drive in and park and do something, and it's I go in once in a while, basically, for like big events and stuff like that. But it's tiring. It's just tiring.
Yeah, because you got. I don't know, man. I went up there a couple years ago to see Joey at the Gotham, and we took the train up to wherever the hell it was, and then took that to Central Station, and it was it was a haul, and it was like,
Yeah,
damn, now I gotta do that and go all the way home after I just ate a
exactly,
couple edibles and smoked a joint with Joey Diaz. Fuck.
exactly.
But yeah, that's cool that this is your first podcast. I've been trying since I started it. I knew when I started doing this shit that I'm not the first one to do what I'm doing. But I wanted to like try to like talk to people who do this stuff and that are doing it and getting recognized and have shit going on. And that's why I had Photoshop Steve on. I talked to Marty from Drastic Graphics. And
Okay.
he was fucking awesome, dude. If you go back and listen to that episode, I'm still going back and listening to that and taking
Cool.
notes.
I will. I will.
And it's not even like, not on like Photoshop stuff, just like kind of like thought and business wise, like what he did and shit. He was from upstate New York, and
Yeah.
he just moved out to Orange County like 5 years ago. He's actually back there like right now. I think I just saw on Instagram. He's like visiting for the first time since, but he's an example, dude. Somebody that took that fucking leap, you know.
Absolutely.
That I just, it's hard, dude. It's really hard. I'm just thinking about like trying to like move out west to try and be in that whole scene in the area, but with the baby and everything else going on, I still got a full-time fucking job I gotta go sit at all day. you know.
It's tough. I mean, I've missed or had to pass on a small opportunity here and there. I hopefully have a pretty big opportunity coming up in the near future, and I'm hopefully not going to have to pass up on that. But it's just enjoyable. And like you said, you meet so many inspiring people, and I truly appreciate that you'd have me on here, because when I first started getting into this and I started seeing other people, there was that kind of jealousy, that kind of, well, I'm doing something different, or yeah, I started critiquing theirs, and then I started realizing that there really are a lot of people out there. And I look at it like comedy, where, listen, other comedians always welcome and respect other comedians if they're funny. So what we do, you have to find the people that are also at the top of the game, and like you said, talk to them, get to know them. What are they doing? And let's become the tops of what we do, and let's inspire other people to do what we do. I don't, when I started seeing a lot of pop-ups, I was like, oh, another one. Oh my God, here goes another one. And it's, now when I say, I'm like, I have people reach out to me and DM me all the time. Hey, could you give me a tip? Hey, could you give me
Yeah.
I had some guy the other day who he's been doing it for a couple of months, and his stuff was so. and he was struggling with some stuff, and he did some stuff, and I saw one of his best works, and I said, pretty good. And then he was like, I'm struggling, and I gave him the ultimate, and I don't know if this is a mistake saying this, but from what I learned is one of the ultimate tricks to what we do: search for PNGs.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
Search for PNG.
Thank God
Why
for
cut
Google,
everything?
right?
Oh my God! Why cut everything out if you can find a PNG of what you're kind of looking for and work with that? It's
Hell yeah, that's what I do, especially for like if I'm making a poster for I just made the Prince and the Wolf one. I
uh
should have found the Laugh Boston because they did a live episode at the Laugh Boston thing, and I should have found the PNG of the Laugh Boston logo, but I was like,
you didn't.
no, I took the
And,
white square because I needed it
uh,
because I wanted to put live
yeah.
at Laugh Boston, so whatever. But yeah, the PNGs are fucking where it's at, dude.
Uh-huh.
And you know what I do too? Well, what I used to do now with the PhotoFox thing, it's like so quick. I don't even need to. I used to save the PNGs that I would cut out.
Oh, and my juxtaposer has a million of them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's hundreds of them in there.
Like right now, I got I have folder for Diaz, Rogan, Josh Wolf, Freddie Prince, Pauly Shore, Adam Ray, and Brad Williams, all
Exactly.
separate folders on my photo. Not even like the app, just the photos, and then
Yeah.
I just go and pick whichever, because you got to have like all the different angles of their face, like they
Yes.
can't. That's what pisses me off. I was talking to Marty when I was talking to him. I was like, do you ever get because he worked just like you, kind of like collaborate with Donnell.
Yeah.
I don't really get to do that too much, except for with Adam Ray will like tell me, something specific that he wants for one of his podcast posters or something. But everyone else is just whatever I'm thinking right then, and I just make it, and then they put it up. They don't even fucking tell me, can you fix this? Can you? It's weird. I don't know, but
That's a good thing.
it is a good thing.
That's a
But
great thing.
sometimes I get when I do get something like, oh, can you fix this or fix this? I almost get upset. Stop that! And I slap my head.
I've been lucky. I've had a couple of ones that like Donnell has quote where like I'll think that I'm cutting the picture, and then sometimes when you're working really close in, you'll miss the entire top corner of a picture and you'll leave it in there
Yeah,
of like a layer.
yeah,
I'm
like a
like,
little
"Damn,
further away.
and he'll be like, "What's that big thing in the corner covering my face?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I forgot. I gotta go." But he's posted. And how many times have you done this though? How many times have you done something so quick that you want to get it out, and then they post it, and then you're like, "Holy shit! Look at like it's there." Most people won't know that there's like an error or something in the picture that should be there.
Yeah, especially when it's like, I remember this one Adam Ray. I had to go back and tell him like, dude, you gotta fucking read this shit before you post it. I'm not perfect, man.
I know.
I
I
don't
know.
have like on PhotoFox when you're typing in the words, it doesn't have like a spell correct thing on it like the regular phone part does. So if
Oh
I
yeah.
misspell November and
Yes.
don't notice it, and then you post it, and then you got to delete it and ask me to fix it, it sucks.
But sometimes I've noticed that I've had this discussion with my wife too because I don't. There've been a couple of photos that I've done for people, and it's so good. Not to pat myself on the back, but they actually came out so good. I'll notice people. I think there was one with Donnell with the Emmys or the Grammys years ago that I did, and people were like, "Oh my God, that's amazing! I didn't even know you were up for that." And I was like, "Ah." So sometimes you almost want to leave a little something that just doesn't look right in the picture, so they will look at it and go,
That's not right.
"Wait a second, because it's the ones that people look at and they're like, oh my God, that's some of them you want that effect, but a lot of them you don't want that effect because you don't want people really thinking that that's the actual picture.
Dude, I did that to Joey actually twice. One time it was a couple years ago. I took like a screenshot of my iPad. I was watching Netflix and I had like, all the different genres and the different shows. And I looked at the comedy genre and I just photoshopped Savage Dad on top of like somebody else's in there, and I put his name in there like it was like a fucking comedy special, but it was just a CD. And I posted that on Twitter.
People exactly. Oh my God, where is it? I can't
When's
find
it
it.
coming out?
Yeah, I know.
Dude, I gotta remember. I just did one. and I got Lee and Joey and somebody else. Fuck, I'll have to tag you when I remember it on Instagram. It was so funny because I had actually like posted again, like, sorry guys, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
That's not real.
I love those where like people are like
Oh,
seriously like, oh,
it was the I do shit with Wheeler Walker Jr. too, and
okay,
it was the Rolling Stone cover that he posted.
yes, yeah,
I did that, and I forgot to put my little logo on it. And Joey was like talking to Greg Garcia, the fucking creator of My Name Is Earl and shit, and he's like, "Did you see our boy? You saw the clip? I made a clip of it." And he's
yes.
like, "Did you see our boy made the cover of Rolling Stone?" I was like, "Oh my god!" I was sitting there listening to it at my cubicle at my desk, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" I even put like extra bubbles behind his ass in the water to add some kind of comedic effect, but nobody noticed that.
Exactly. Do you do? I do a lot of that too, where I'll do something like off, like in the distance or in the background or something like that,
Yeah,
and it's that 1% of people that are going to notice it that like I'll see in the comments like, oh my god, I see that like dying, like, and it's like, yes, thank you for taking the time to, I did it for
technically,
myself, but
yeah. I mean, most of honestly, a lot of the shit that I do is just like I'll find a picture on Google of like a movie or something, whatever, and just change the faces. But a good percentage of it now, I'm adding like other shit,
yeah,
PNGs of like bongs or
yeah.
whatever, just to spice it up a little bit so it doesn't look like that's. I don't know if you know any of this stuff. Copyright. Is what we're
We,
doing fucking allowed?
listen, if everything that I've done with Donnell for the past 3 years hasn't come back yet, then I'm not. I mean, it's we've used some iffy stuff, but the bottom line is you're always making, even if it's just a simple face change on something, like you said, like on a Rolling
Yeah,
Stone cover, it's you are changing it, so it has changed the whole thing. So I don't know where that stands. I wouldn't be too worried about it because I mean the bottom line is too is what major corporation is going to want to go after a guy like you or me and say copy, oh really, you want, this, you're a multi-million-dollar company and you want to sue me for making, because I'm doing something with a comedian making people laugh, really, like,
I know. That's
I wouldn't go over well, so I really don't even think they would even.
well. The reason I say it because I was talking to Joey once and I was like, dude, I have so many. Well, besides all the posters I make, I have more ideas, obviously. But could we make these into T-shirts?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, like I said, I would do it, and it's
see if anything happens.
it's even, I mean, really, it's not like you're going to be selling the T-shirts to, like, Sears or something, where there's going to be millions of them sold. It's going to be a couple of hundred or a handful or whatever it is, and they're just going to be for fun and for laughs. It's
Yeah, I think I'm gonna fucking try it, dude. Because
do it,
I've
do it.
I've been I've been like not I've been holding off, and I even told Joey I was like, for you for like the the ones that I make that aren't like a group of people together that are just like Joey is Jim Morrison or whatever. If I made a T-shirt out of that, I was like, I'll give you a cut. I'm not gonna just
Yeah,
not pay you anything. I'm using your face,
yeah.
but it's just weird. I don't know. I would I really want to do it. I feel like we could fucking you know get to somewhere and be able to like maybe upgrade this fucking studio. I don't even have a studio. I got a little room with a table.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the family playroom right now. That's my studio. My studio is wherever I'm at. That's my studio.
Man, well, you never know, man. I don't know. I think about it a lot, and it could just be fucking wet dreams going on in my head. But with all this shit, I mean, Marty from Drastic Graphics, he's starting to hire people, that work with him that like
Yeah,
make the photoshops too. Like
yeah.
he's the. So, what are we doing? We should all just fucking get together and make one big ass fucking Photoshop company.
It's the best way to describe it is it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Kevin Smith was having his birthday party, actually down closer to you, down in Red Bank.
Yeah.
And through Donnell, because Donnell's working with him on Hollyweed, Donnell was in LA. He said, "Listen, go to Kevin's birthday party, talk to him, hang out with him, because we're going to hopefully be working on some stuff late, further on down the road."
Awesome.
And I went down there, and once again, like talk about an inspiration. Talk about someone like you said who basically just one day was doing nothing, and the next day pretty much took over the world.
Yeah.
And that's that inspiration and that drive and that's what you want to do. And again, he knows what I do through Donnell. He's seen a lot of my work. He knows what's going on. And I wore one of my shirts that I had made up, a Hollywood shirt with him and Donnell on it. They're Batman and Robin. There's a dragon in the background. It's all with the pilot and everything like that.
Mm.
And and he said to me, he said, what you do is an asset. He said it's what we call an asset to what we do, and it's a major asset. And like I was kind of like, okay, like I thought about it for a while, and then I went home and actually looked up the word asset in the dictionary. And it's a huge compliment, and it really is. We're just adding something else to what they do.
Yeah.
It's a different angle. Like I said, I don't consider myself a comedian in any way, shape, or form because what they do is an amazing art form, and I've watched Donnell from creating a joke to turning it, changing it, performing it on stage. It's an art form what they do. I consider myself a humorist in the comedy world, maybe, but what we give is an entirely different way of looking at a joke.
Yeah. Dude, you are basically a fucking writer that can make pictures of what you think.
See, when you say that, I'll accept it, but I wouldn't say that. I would be like, I don't know if I want to call myself a writer.
Well, I mean,
But now that you said it,
you could technically probably come up with the ideas, and
yes.
then work on the actual writing and stuff. But you got that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was fortunate. I mean, last year it was Thanksgiving Day. Donnell called me up, BS, and happy Thanksgiving, family. I'll see you soon. Blah, 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 blah. We're talking for a half an hour. Hangs up the phone, calls me back 5 minutes later and goes, I forget what the date was. It was like January 7th or January 8th. He goes, you're opening for me at Caroline's, and hangs up the phone.
What?
That was it. So I had like from Thanksgiving till like January 7th or 8th or whatever it was to get together like 10 minutes. And then that day when I got there, yeah, and I got and that's when you really see how much goes into jokes, and writing. And it's like, oh my God. I was nervous as can be. Of course, I smoked a ton of weed before I got up on stage. But I was fortunate enough where I didn't know if I was going to be able to get up there. I had this guy that opens for Donnell a lot, Jimmy Martinez, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He was the MC that night. I just met Jimmy that night, and I probably shouldn't be saying this, but out to the open public. But who cares? It was the greatest thing because Jimmy goes into this rant. Oh my God, coming to the stage. This guy's been working with Donnell. I've known him personally for 15 years. We do stuff, and I'm just like, and it just got me laughing. And he had audience before I even got on stage. The audience was eating out of my hands. So when I got up there, it was easy. They were already smiling. They were already laughing. They were already in a great place. But I could also see the flip side of that too, where if you're in a tough comedy place, getting up on stage, I was for my first time, and it was at Caroline's on Broadway. It was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So that's my only experience as an actual comedian. But I still every night, usually after a smoke session, I usually do write a lot of stuff down.
Yeah,
and
it's good to do, man.
You have to. Sometimes it's just maybe 3 words, but when I look at it the next day, I'll be like, okay, that's what that meant. I can tie it all together and go, okay, that's what was going on in my head at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, it's fun, dude.
It is.
I don't write shit. I mean, I do write shit, but I don't
You
write
do.
shit professionally. But
Yeah.
The fact that we in this life went from watching these guys on TV to like actually talking to them.
Yeah.
It's amazing, dude.
No, I tell Donnell that all the time. I mean, he was just here at the house the other day. We spent the weekend. We're together all the time. We were out on my friend's fishing boat. He's, like I said, he's become my best friend, my brother, and I still look at him sometimes, and I kind of like, is this really like my wife? She'll tell you whenever like Donnell calls or texts me, which is pretty much every single day. I turn the phone to her and I go, "It's Donnell Rawlings."
That's amazing. I did that with Joey Diaz.
I'm sure exactly.
I put his
Exactly.
his picture. I saved it on the phone, and then as soon as he rings, I turn it around, and it's just him from the fucking the Grudge Match movie, all pissed off looking.
But too, from that you're known. Like I said, when I went down and I met Kevin Smith, I talked to somebody, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Kevin's waiting to talk to you." And I'm like, "Well, Kevin's waiting to talk to me."
What?
It's like, and he had he had a movie theater with movies going in two theaters. He was bouncing back and forth. He was talking. There was media there. And he took 10 minutes out just to sit down and talk to me about things that him and Donnell and, I are, hopefully going to be able to do at some point. And it's like, wow, like the stupid stuff in my head, becoming friends with Donnell, meeting these other comedians. Like just the other day, Chris Rock posted up something of mine. Kevin Hart posted up something of mine and Donnell's. And it's like, how? Like how? You know that feeling.
Yeah, dude.
Like this is like
It's almost
what
a
is
dream, dude. Right?
it is. It absolutely is. That's the best way to describe it.
I can't even. I grew up my whole life trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I wanted to be something with art. Like I was a musician since 14. I played guitar and shit. Never got through with a band. And then some fucking weird dude, the iPhone came along and I picked up a couple apps. And then I
Yeah.
started listening to more comedy was more accessible because of that iPhone.
Yes. Yes.
And then bam, 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 bam. Like it just chain reaction, And it was just all. I feel like for me personally, it started with my mom, man, and just showing me George. That just fucking changed my world, I used to sit there and watch it so much that I would write down. Like I remember I have a notebook. I wrote down like 3 pages of like the intro of one of the specials. I don't know why the hell I was doing it. I just wrote down word for word what he was saying. He was prolific though. So
he was God. I mean, I remember too as a kid too, growing up watching TV, and even like Sanford and Son. And I remember one day my father, and like I don't remember how young I was at the time, but he had a it may have been an 8-track tape. That's how far back we're going, of Red Fox comedy. And we were listening to it in the house, and I think like it was like turned down so low because if my mother would have heard it, forget about it.
Yeah.
But like listening to and I'm like, wait a second, that's the guy from Sanford and Son. It was dirty, it was raunchy, it was hysterical, and I was again, that's another level. It's like, oh my god, that's comedy too. Like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like, wow. Like,
yeah. Dude,
I'm sure like hearing Carlin, like you said, I mean, like it was like deep. It was like, wow, like it made you, it didn't just make you laugh, it made you think.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It was mind opening. Like
Yes.
me as a fucking 8, 10-year-old thinking about the topics that he was talking about. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know what my mom was thinking.
God
But
bless
thank
you.
you, Mom.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's like I said, I thank my dad for sneaking me out to watch SNL and listen to people like like that. And he, like I said, my dad probably turned me on to George Carlin too, along with Red Fox and Pryor and all of it.
SNL, dude. So many people.
God,
So many, dude. My favorite SNL. What was your favorite like years of SNL?
Like I said, I remember watching it from the very beginning. So Belushi to me was a god.
Yeah.
Belushi was an absolute god. And then when Eddie Murphy came on, it was like, holy crap, like what? Like Gumby, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. I was just like absolutely just blown away and insane.
Yeah. I've watched so many reruns of fucking Saturday Night Live. I used to go like when I was in high school. Again, when I first started playing guitar and shit, I would watch on Comedy Central. They had like reruns of the Saturday Night Live, and I would wait for like besides watching the comedy stuff, I was the music shit. So I would wait and see who the hell was playing, and I'd tape on VHS. Like I'd wait for it to come back on TV. Like, oh look, I got Nirvana. Fucking A. Those are the days.
Taping stuff. Yeah, now you just DVR it or you find it on YouTube.
I know. So my son, kids have it so fucking ridiculously easy. The fuck.
They do. Oh.
But oh man,
I'm almost scared to think what they're gonna have like when they like. All right, I mean, like what's the world gonna be when they grow up?
I feel like it's gonna be the next thing. Like the big jump, you know how like we had the virtual reality shit that's basically here, but it's kind of hard to afford, but not really. I feel like that shit's gonna eventually be in our phone, totally in our phone, somehow or something. We're gonna live in a fucking virtual
I
reality. You know?
yeah. Well, there's going to be a day when there won't even be a phone. It'll somehow just be around you. You'll just have access to it through your fingers touching the air in front of you or thinking of something.
Yeah, a
It's
little chip in the back of your ear
exactly
connected to
scary.
your
Probably not
corona.
far off.
See, this is what I'm talking about, dude. This is a podcast, but it's kind of like a writer's room. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and thank you for making me realize that. Okay, I can feel that way and not feel bad about it because it is true. It is what we do. We write on a different level, and yes, what we do can be written into a joke or a script or a short story or whatever. I mean, it's the start of something just as a joke is written.
Yeah, man. I mean, take what I try to do with the podcast posters.
Hmm.
When I first started, I mean, I've slacked off a little bit, um, because I have to listen to so many podcasts now just to do what I do.
Yeah.
Because like most of the time I'm trying to take something that they talked about in the podcast and make that into a poster, or at least, you know, they mentioned a movie or something. I'll put them in that movie. You know.
And that's different. It's work.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
and
So it is. It's like work, and you're kind of like making a story with a picture. You know.
Well, I think that's the thing. That's the thing too. Is some people, like I said, I'm sure you've seen the comments. Oh, you're just cutting and pasting pictures. No, it's a lot. I love those, of course. By
I'll
the way,
show you
I'm sure
cutting and pasting pictures when
exactly,
comedians do it themselves.
exactly. Oh yes, I've seen a couple that I cringe. It's like, okay, they're trying to get on board. Whatever, let them do what they want to do.
You know what?
But
Go ahead. I'll say it afterwards.
it's and you know it too. It's not just a picture. It's there are times I'll spend, like I said, sometimes I can make the picture up in less than a minute or two,
Yeah.
but sometimes I will spend a half an hour finding the right picture, the right expression, the right face.
Yep.
Sometimes that's the whole. You can't just take a picture. I've seen people too, like you said, where every time they do something, it's the exact same layer of the person on every picture. The
The
head could
same
be any
face, you
different
mean?
way. It's
The
exactly
same
it's
face with the same blunt.
exactly. And it's like, okay, now you need to change that up a little. You gotta, and if you get the
Please.
expression, that's the key is the right expression.
Yeah, yeah. I, that's another thing Marty told me to do is go. You know how you're saying you search for the right picture that you want to use, the right face. Um, I do a lot like whenever I'm like, well, actually, I'll fucking make these things while I'm taking a shit. But while I'm
Yeah.
taking a shit, sometimes when I don't have something to do, I'll just look up crazy shit and just save a whole bunch of pictures that I could use as backgrounds. You know, that could,
Toilet time is a very important time. I do a
dude.
lot of research on toilet time.
Hell yeah, man. Research, work, everything.
Then all of a sudden, then you get the knock at the door, and it's like I go to stand up, and my knees are done, and I'm like, okay, I've been here too long.
I know. I'm like leaning on with my elbows, and like I can't even feel my leg.
Exactly, but it's good research time.
That's what I at the day job I have to like. Most of the time, if you see me, and hopefully people don't listen to this that I work with. I don't think they do, but most of the time when you see me posting shit during the day, I just got finished making that shit on the toilet.
It's weird. But I've pulled over at times. My wife cracks up because there are times like I'll get 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll like wake up and do something real quick and just go right back. And she'll be like, "Did you get up last night and do something?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just something popped into my head that I had to do." It's just
Exactly, dude. And
oddest
that
thing.
again, that's you're a writer.
Yes, yeah,
That's what writers do. I mean, I hear Rogan talking about that all the time. If you
yeah,
have an idea, get the fuck up and write it down real quick. You're gonna
yes,
forget it.
yes. I think I got that from him a long time ago. Is that like you just said, is if you have an idea, don't let it go or don't go, oh, I'll think about it later, I'll write it down later. If you have something good, like I said, like I'll go on my phone like tomorrow after smoking tonight, and I'll look and I'll see like 3 words, and like I'll go, okay, oh, that's what I was thinking. I just need to just enough just to remind me to get back to it because if I don't remember now, I'm never tomorrow. I'm gonna get what was I thinking about again? Because you don't remember, it's gone.
It's gone, or like you'll remember when it's too fucking late. Like, oh
Yeah,
shit, somebody else already did it.
yeah, yeah. How many times have you seen that too?
Oh
It's
my
just
god,
it's like
dude! When I first started, I not when I first started, but when I first started paying attention to other people on Instagram and stuff. And Photoshop Steve was one of them. I remember me and him did the same, like basically the same Spaceballs one, and I was like, "Fuck, did he do it before me or did I? Does it matter?
Yeah, no,
I don't remember. I didn't look."
I
He
had
even
one.
says he doesn't
Yeah,
look at other people's shit. I don't
yeah,
understand how he does that. Probably because he has so many damn followers he doesn't like see. But like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I
once in
had
a
one.
while while I'm taking a shit, I'll be strolling through the streamline. I see other people's stuff. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
I've taken stuff down. Like I said, I had one same thing with him. It was I forget what it was. It was when I was first getting started, and I definitely didn't want to step on anybody's toes.
Oh, really?
It was like very similar, and I was just like, mine may have been up. I mean, I don't even know, but the fact that the two of ours were up and they were similar, I pulled mine right down because I didn't even want to get into who had it up first. I said, you know what, he's been out here longer. I got to give him the respect. I'm going to take mine down, and I just felt that was the right thing to do at the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I totally would have done that, but at the time, Steve he wasn't like putting text on top of stuff and promoting shows.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
I don't know if I was the first one to start that either, but that's what I was using that for, that picture. So I
Yeah.
couldn't really take it down. You kind of had to deal with that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No,
but
like I said, it's wonderful. Like I said, opening up now and talking to more people. I talked with a guy, Blessed by the Beats. He does all of Michael Blackson stuff,
hmm
and like we go back and forth all the and it's so great now, like to talk to you. And like I said, that time that I reached out to the Photoshop Steve, and to see how we really are on the same page, and we really should all work together, and we really should all do
support
what we
each
do.
other.
Exactly, really, and help the new ones coming along. It's help them out, give them tips. You listen, if this is what you want to do, it's a very fun thing. Why would I tell someone not to do this?
Exactly.
I love what I do. It's fun.
I even try to tell like Adam or like I met Kate Quigley. She was up in Philly a couple months ago, and I met her too, like in person finally. I
Yeah,
was like, "This is the app I use. This is like just take some fucking time while you're on the shitter."
exactly. I've she's posted up a lot of my stuff over the time, and
She's
it's
awesome.
she reaches out to me all the time, and she's just like, I want to do this and I want to do this and whatever, and she's like, I'm sorry to bother you. All just whatever on your crazy mind, send it to me, and I will get it into a photo somehow. I don't care how out there you are. And that's I'm sure you've done a lot of stuff too. Like Donnell and I laugh all the time too. I've sent some stuff to like Kate and some other people too that will never be on Instagram because it's more of like a joke or like a behind the scenes
Yeah.
type of thing, something like that. And some of those are the greatest things, but they'll never be posted for reasons.
Yeah, I actually did Rogan had me helping him with the one in Kansas City that Westboro fucking protested.
Yes.
And after that, he messaged me. He's like, "Thanks, man. That was a fucking crazy show. There was like 6,000 people there, man. It was mobbed." And I was like, "That's fucking crazy, dude." And then right after he posted a picture of he reposted Andice Clay
Hmm. Yeah.
with that yellow shirt on.
Yes.
I took that and I had like the perfect Rogan, like his face was pointing the right direction, and I put it right on there and sent it to him. And usually I'll like just do it and then I'll put the word. I'll just make the whole entire poster and then send it to him.
Yeah.
And he'll either use it or he'll be like, I don't know. So this time I just fucking made the picture before I put anything in it. I just sent it. I was like, "Can I use this for Columbus?" he's like, "That's funny as hell, but that it's weird. I know him."
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the best. Me and Donnell said eventually maybe one day we're going to create a page and we're just going to put all the stuff that we never put up. Just put it up. Maybe make it a private page
Yeah.
because you're going to have some see some of the stuff.
Or, dude, make a fucking book out of it.
Yeah, well, somebody has actually said that. I've heard that before, and it's like,
But it's the same thing. Like, is it copyrighted? Like, can
yeah,
we sell
I
that
know,
shit?
I
Do we have to
know.
give it away for
Yeah,
$1?
exactly.
But I don't know. I think I'm gonna take your advice and just try that T-shirt shit. I might have to get you and your T-shirt guy to fucking help me out.
Listen, I'll send you his link. He's Relentless Athletics. I mean, any questions you have, he'll help you out. He's a great guy. He does all of my stuff, all of Donnell's stuff, all the weird shit that we do for individual stuff. And
Awesome, man. I
like
need T-shirts. I need one
yeah,
by one T-shirts too. Shit, I need something.
he'll do them for you. I mean, he's right in Nutley. I mean, he can ship them down to you, or whatever. I mean, that's
Oh,
it's
cool.
yeah, it's you got to laugh. I mean, that's the bottom line. Laugh at everything. Laugh through it. Laugh with it. And that's it.
Yeah, man. And play a little music in the background once in a while. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
Have a good smoke session and enjoy.
Exactly. I'm glad to hear that. Even though you're a retired police
Yes.
deputy, you
Yes.
still like to
Yes.
enjoy the reefer.
But listen, I was one of those guys where, like, I think right before I knew that I was getting on the job, I like had to go clean. Like I was like drinking like vinegar and whatever I had to do for like, and then I took 20 years off, and then at the end of my 20 years, I picked up right where I left off again because, I mean, it's a truth too. I've said this too. I mean, I was a cop for 20 years. I saw a lot. I dealt with a lot. Um, it's an extremely tough job. What it does to you mentally and physically.
I bet.
If cops were allowed to smoke, you would have a lot less problems in the world of law enforcement. You would, because most of them drink, they become alcoholics. It goes downhill. That becomes a problem. Let them smoke. Let them smoke. They'll be happy. They'll be calm. They'll be.
Dude, it's coming, man.
It is. It really is.
Like there's some shit going on. I really hope that this next election or something happens and it's just fucking federally legal.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It needs to be. It absolutely. I mean, I said it in all my 20 years of law enforcement, and that was even a joke that I even had too. I've never had a problem with somebody being high on weed. Never
No,
had.
why
No,
would you?
it's usually like it's like, hey, dude, can I finish my Snickers bar first?
Yeah,
Or
can you clean
hey,
up them crumbs?
can,
Like,
can we stop at Burger King on the way in because I know I'm going to be going in for at least a month on this charge that I got. It's like, and that's what it's dealing with everything. And listen, alcoholics are the absolute worst.
yeah.
Nothing worse than fighting with a full blown. I've never had a problem with. I've had foot pursuits where I've chased people around the same car for like 3 minutes. Like, all right, can we stop this now? They're like, dude, you can't catch me. Like, can we stop this now? It's the same car. We're just going in a circle here. It's come on.
One of us is gonna get tired.
Exactly. I'll give you a Snickers bar. Come on, stop. Okay.
Okay. Why wait?
Exactly.
Well, they actually just decriminalized it, I believe, in all of the counties in Jersey. Like a couple weeks ago.
It really should be. It's ridiculous. It's
So that Phil Murphy or whatever the hell. I know there's always shady shit with fucking politicians, but this guy seems like he's doing a lot better for us than Christie did for all those
oh no,
years.
Oof, he was absolutely horrible. I mean, I don't like to get into politics and I stay away from it, but
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's
hopefully the right thing is hopefully the right thing is done soon, and I mean, it really, and my son is on a form of medical marijuana,
Yeah.
which he was actually a trial patient, and it's actually the first cannabinoid in the country that was passed by the FDA. So
Wow.
I'm hoping it's from the UK. It's amazing. But before that, I mean, listen, like I said, I'm a retired cop. I knew that marijuana worked for my son. It helped my son with his seizures. I used to get it from California. I used to drive to some shady places in different states to get it. I did whatever I had to do for my son, and I would continue to do that because
Yeah.
it helped. It's an amazing plant, and you can't deny that. It does wonders. It calms people. It relaxes people. It helps people laugh. So, uh,
It
I mean,
bonds people, man.
exactly.
When you have a smoke session with somebody and you just laugh and talk, like it's kind of like this. I feel like we've been smoking a lot of
Yeah.
this time. I have my bowl right here. I haven't hit it yet, but it really does, man. It connects people because you're on like it's almost like a different fucking wavelength, man. You know?
You're absolutely right. And it opens up to a different place. I mean, like today, like I was watching like some Jim Carrey stuff, and I know a lot of people go, "Oh, he's crazy, he's crazy." When you listen to him, he's deep. Like
Oh yeah.
you work with Joe Rogan a lot. Sometimes he goes on some rants, and like what I used to be like, "Wow, where the heck is he?" Now I listen to it and I look at it and I go, "Wow, I'm there."
Yeah.
You can understand it. You're not just listening to the words; you're understanding the words.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Jim Carrey's fucking. He is a little nuts, but he is profound. Like,
He's on a different level.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen some of the videos that he goes off on talking and stuff, and I mean, part of it because of what he went through as an actor and comedian. But
Yep.
didn't you hear about like something like his wife or girlfriend or something passed? Something tragic happened like within the last like 10 years or so, I think,
Yeah.
and it just sent him off. That's why he's making all these fucking paintings of Trump
Yeah.
and shit. I love it.
It's like I said, I stay out of the politics,
And
but
he's actually
it's funny.
good.
It's funny. It's funny. See, that's the thing when it comes to everybody's like, oh, you can't joke about this. Oh, no, you can joke about life, death, and everything in between, as long as it's funny, as long as there's
Yeah.
humor in it. I've seen some people do some stuff that's like, no, that's just hatred.
Yeah. Tasteless.
As long as the comedy's there and there's something funny in there, whether you agree with it or not, you have to laugh at it.
Exactly.
You have to respect it and laugh at it. That's
Well, dude, thank you fucking for spending an hour and 15 minutes with me, man. It was a pleasure, and I hope that I don't hear a lot of. I don't know if you've heard them, but I've heard a lot of these little beeps going on throughout the podcast. But
no.
okay, good.
No.
It should be good. We should be fine. But we're gonna fucking do this again though, because
anytime you want, believe me, anytime you want to work on anything, anytime you want to do anything at all, please reach right out to me. Again, absolutely honored by this tonight.
Dude, thank you very much, and you do the same thing, man. Seriously.
Let's keep the world laughing. That's what we do.
Fuck yeah, brother. All right, man. I'll post this up and share it with you and tag and all that good stuff.
Awesome.
Thanks, Andy.
Gonna go enjoy some smoke now.
Yeah. At Bearded Humor Smoke. That's another page you got to start.
That is.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Enjoy, brother, man.
Peace.
Peace.